After being restricted to less than 30 minutes in the first two games back in the bubble, Zion Williamson played 25 minutes last night in the Pelicans' 109-99 win over the Grizzlies, and he racked up 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in the win. Zion said after the game that he felt alive again. So, Shannon, how impressed were you with what you saw from Zion?
Zion, he played well, Skip. Although his field goal percentage wasn't very good, I thought he played well. I thought he was aggressive. He looked good on the offensive end, especially because, Skip, most of his stuff is going to come in the paint. 19 of his 21 shots came within the paint, and he was super aggressive last night, as I mentioned earlier, career-high 21 shot attempts. But, Skip, conditioning is an issue. Skip, I think the load management is an issue. Skip, he gets his shot blocked on one end. Skip, Alvin Gentry had to call timeout. That's it. Skip, look, and I hate to belabor the point. And people say, well, he's always been big. He's always going to be big. But he hasn't always played 82 games in a season. He hasn't always going to be asked to play 35, 40 minutes a night, Skip. You have to understand, as you age and people ask you to do different things, you have to be able to respond with that, Skip. I don't care what anybody says. People can say all they want to. Zion Williamson is not less than 300 pounds. And conditioning is going to be his issue. Injuries is going to be. That's the only thing that can stop him from having a long, productive career is his weight. Because that kind of weight, jumping up and down, night in and night out, Skip, is not going to last very long. Skip, he is an unbelievable talent. Explosive beyond explosive. No man that size should be able to move like he does, should be able to leave the floor. Skip, he can get up, down, and up again as quick as somebody a third of his size. But that's the only thing that concerns me. Ja was terrible last night. Maybe it was in his mind, these are two, top rookie of the year candidates, Skip. Skip, he didn't play well. And Ja had been unbelievable the first two games coming in. He had been unbelievable all year. But he was 5 of 21. The three ball was not there. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he can knock those down. But I thought he was pressing. I thought the moment, Zion, I thought he let that moment get to him. But Zion Williamson, Skip, and Brandon Ingram. Skip, this dude's I don't think people realize it because, like I said, Skip, when you lose, it goes unnoticed. But the Pelicans, because people with Zion, they were going to be on television, and so you get an opportunity to see a lot more Brandon Ingram. When it was in the Lakers, Skip, if you wasn't on Spectrum, you couldn't watch him. But now they have him on TNT, and you can see him play on ESPN. Skip, he can do it. You watch him down the stretch, that's why they won that game. Skip, he was unbelievable down the stretch, Skip. He was unbelievable. But back to Zion, Skip, they can't stop him. Skip, he's like a bulldozer. Skip, he's going through guys' chests like they're paper mache.
Yep.
I mean, and they can't do anything. They're like, I ain't taking this, Skip, I ain't taking this charge. I'm gonna let him have this one. But he's unbelievable. He's phenomenal. I just wish he can get his conditioning under control, get his training, his eating habits under control, Skip, because I believe he can be special. The only thing that's gonna slow him down is injury and conditioning.
So I hear everything you just said. I co-sign. Yep, he's way too heavy. Yep, he's way out of shape. Yep, there may be something still wrong with that troubled knee of his. He's got both of them in jeopardy, but one of them looks like it's still barking, and he looked a little limpy, and when he made that bad idea attempt to try to power up to 3 and get a shot, he had to eat it because it was just a bad idea all the way up. It looked like after he hit the floor that he limped to the bench in that timeout that you said Alvin Gentry had to call. And I'm thinking, is he done for the night? And he wasn't done for the night. So despite everything that I just said, this man managed to score 23 points in 25 minutes. Can you imagine what he could do if he ever got himself right? Can you imagine what would happen? So now it appears to me that the only way for him to get in shape is that Alvin's going to have to hope he can play his way into shape. I thought it was a great sign that somebody upstairs, starting with David Griffin, some of the medical people, signed off on, yeah, you can let him finish the game.
Right.
Because it was crushing the kid's soul that he had to sit over there sulking, I can't.
It was crushing the team's soul.
It was.
Like, he was one of our best players.
Thank you. Despite all that happened last night, and by the way, he threw in 7 rebounds and a career high, tied his career high with 5 assists. He can handle the basketball. He can see it, feel it, move it for such a big man. And as you know, such touch and such feel, when it's combined with that much force and power, it's just extraordinary.
Right.
I just sit back in awe of some of the moves that he makes. And he still has pretty good quickness and lift at 300.
He does.
Okay, if you could take 25 off, you know what would happen?
He'd be unbelievable.
Destruction would happen.
Yes.
Ah, well, can he figure that out? Can they hope that, because he doesn't seem to be like a spin class. You know, you don't mind going to spin class.
Right.
It's not easy to go to spin
No.
class and sit on that bike for 45 minutes or an hour.
Right.
I know what it feels like, but I'm addicted to it, so it doesn't bother me.
Right.
But he's not built that way.
Right.
And obviously, he is not observing the proper dietary habits. He's just not.
No.
And you talk about New Orleans and all the the food temptations. It's just unbelievable.
That jambalaya,
Hey,
and touffee.
it's just too
and
much.
food, yes.
I get it. And he's like a big kid still.
Yeah.
Food.
Skippy, you know, in New Orleans, they're not cooking with Pam.
No, they're not.
Ain't no low-cal.
No.
Ain't no, I'm sure there are some nice restaurants where you get low-calorie and vegan, but that's not New Orleans flavor.
It's a high-fat town.
Yes.
It is. Fat Tuesday.
Skip, it is what it is. And here's the thing. The thing with you, when you started working out, when you saw the results, you were hooked. When I started working out, I started seeing gains, and I could see a little more, like,
He hadn't gotten there yet.
He hadn't gotten there yet, Skip.
Okay, so he's not going to go swim for an hour.
No.
You know, he's just not going to do it. So you have to hope that his knees will allow him to play his way into shape.
Right.
And if they do, even last night at 300 pounds, was he not the best player on the floor? Yes, he was.
Unbelievable.
Was he not a difference maker?
Yes.
Is he not? To me, he's the closer for that team. And I got you. BI went off in the fourth quarter. But when you look around and you say, we got that guy on our side, you could just see the whole spirit of the team lift. When he came back in the game with whatever it was, 5 minutes late, he played 10 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Okay? You could see the spirits of the team. You could see the body language change. And all of a sudden, they took the game over and they kept it over, right? And it's all about Zion. This team is going to go as far as he can carry them in restricted minutes. Well, if the minutes start going up to 25 and 30 and maybe even 35.
No, he's not going to play 30. I don't know if they let him play more than 30, Skip.
Okay. Well, even 30. If you can get 30 good minutes out of
If
him.
you get 30 out of him, Skip, whoo.
So, shall we look at what's left on the schedule? I kept telling you going into this, they've got the easiest schedule, like times 10.
Right.
When you looked at the other teams' schedules to finish.
Memphis is
Okay. Look what New Orleans has left. They got Sacramento, Washington, my Spurs, Sacramento again, and Orlando. Okay, help me out.
Right.
Could they win out?
It might come down to the Spurs.
Okay.
Because Orlando is better than people think. Vucevic and Gordon and Fultz, they've been playing well. They're better than people think, Skip.
Okay. But again, my Spurs don't have LaMarcus Aldridge.
Right.
So Jakob Poeltl has to play high minutes at center, and I love him. He's a good guy. I met him one time in Las Vegas, took a picture with him.
Right.
He's a great guy. And he's 7 feet tall. But you know what's going to happen.
Right.
You know what's going to happen.
Shoulder to chest, lay the ball up.
Embiid last night against Jakob, it's just like a mismatch. He just can't deal with it.
Right.
Okay. So that's a pretty easy schedule. And then a lot of people are getting hot on Portland. We're going to see them tonight. Right. But look at their closing schedule. They go, could they make the 8 seed or the play-in?
9.
Tournament? Yeah.
Everybody nobody cares about 8.
No,
just get to the
9
seed.
so you can do the play-in.
Right.
Okay, Portland has left Houston and Denver and the Clippers and Embiid and Philly and Dallas, and then they finish with Brooklyn. But it's a hard finish, man.
Yeah.
And look at Memphis. All of a sudden, they've got Utah, which is 50-50, and then Oklahoma City and Toronto and Boston and Milwaukee. Yikes.
Yeah, Memphis squandered a couple of games early.
They did.
They squandered a couple of games early.
So they're 0-3 in the restart. Can they get it back together?
Right.
I don't know. I like that team's chances just because of the schedule and because I saw a big ray of hope last night. He finished the basketball game.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Well, Skip, I just think the thing is, are the Pelicans really trying to make this playoff, Skip? Or are they really? Are they really trying? Because that's what I want to know.
Well, I think so. Why do you think not?
Because 15 minutes one night and then 20 minutes.
Well, they're just trying to protect his knee. I don't know if he's got a knee issue or not. If they're just holding their breath, that the knee's going to go at any moment.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. the thing is that you and I both know the thing to protect knees and joints is take weight off, not add weight to it.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, as a young man, and Skip, he's 20.
I know.
He's 20. That's what people need to understand, 20.
He just turned 20.
Normally.
You can remember yourself at 20.
Yes, yes. But Skip, normally big 20-year-olds be even bigger 25 and 30-year-olds.
No doubt.
So he needs to get this thing under control so he can, because I don't want to look back, man, just imagine if Zion could have got his weight under control. Skip, how many players, because we look back at Brandon, just imagine if Brandon Roy knees would have held up or Greg Oden knees and feet would have held up. What could they have been? Well, that's something they couldn't control.
Remember when you got to Baltimore, what you did for Ray?
Yeah.
Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
You changed his diet.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You showed him the way.
Right.
And I think it put like 5 years on the back of his career, right?
Right.
I wish you could counsel that kid.
Well, I think, Skip, look, from what I hear, he's very insulated. I mean, it's basically him, his mom, and his stepfather.
Yep.
And sometimes, Skip, you get guys like that, if you try to help them do something, they might think you want to take credit for the success they've already enjoyed. And so for me, I don't mention anything. I never mention anything about it. And when people will fight, oh, you did this. If Ray want to tell you what I